That appreciation for the people who introduced mankind to what's come to be known as the Judeo-Christian ethic is reflected in the institutions they established on these shores. As my friend Rabbi Daniel Lapin of Toward Tradition explains, over the course of history, only two nations were founded on a vision: ancient Israel and the United States of America. In one case, originally articulated in the Mayflower Compact, and in the other in Mosaic law. By the way, each vision preceded possession of the land. Every president of the United States, from George Washington to George W. Bush, has taken his oath of office on a book that includes the story of the prophets and the patriarchs, of the Exodus, the encounter at Sinai, and the possession of the land. The rights and duties set forth in the United States Constitution are echoes of a far older covenant. By the way, it's no coincidence that the first amendments to the Constitution, which have come to be known as the Bill of Rights, are 10 in number, as are the first commandments given at Sinai. Throughout our nation's capital, testaments to America's biblical heritage are chiseled in stone. A representation of the Ten Commandments is engraved on each of the oak doors leading to the Supreme Court's chambers. A frieze of Moses adorns the chamber of the U.S. House of Representatives. In the National Archives building, near the Declaration of Independence, the Roman numerals 1 through 10 are engraved in the floor. More than Rome or Athens, more than London or Paris, the light that guided our infant republic shone forth from Jerusalem. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States and Israel are soulmates. Two nations joined at the heart. America's rise to global preeminence confirms God's promise spoken through the mouth of a Gentile prophet. When Balaam says of Israel, "I will bless those who bless thee and curse those who curse thee." The United States offered shores of refuge to generations of Jewish immigrants, including, by the way, all four of my grandparents. In the Second World War, the United States destroyed history's most depraved anti-Semite, although that wasn't our reason for going to war, and liberated the death camps. At the end of the Second World War, America provided crucial support for the reestablishment of a Jewish state and helped sustain Israel for the past 6 decades. By the way, it is no coincidence that a president of the United States from the Bible Belt was midwife to the modern state of Israel. In his monumental biography, Truman, David McCullough writes of our 33rd president, quote, "He felt satisfaction in what he had been able to do for the Jewish people, and was deeply moved by their expressions of gratitude then and for years to come." When the chief rabbi of Israel, Isaac Halevi Herzog, called at the White House, he told Truman, "God put you in your mother's womb so you would be the instrument to bring the rebirth of Israel after 2,000 years." Now, Truman's aide, David Niles, said, "I thought the rabbi was overdoing things till I looked over at the president and saw tears running down his cheeks." From Haim Solomon, the financier of the revolution, to the present, Jewish patriots have played an integral part in the American saga. Albert Einstein gave America the theoretical basis for the weapon that ended the war in the Pacific and helped us keep our freedom throughout the Cold War. And a Jew with the improbable name of Berlin gave us what's been called America's second national anthem, God Bless America. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, God did bless America, in part because of what America did for Irving Berlin and for people like him. There is, however, yet another reason why a patriot is called upon to support Israel. In the global conflict that confronts us, with the fate of humanity hanging in the balance, Americans and Israelis face the same fanatical, hate-filled, one might almost say demonic foe. The same totalitarian ideology masquerading as a religion that killed 242 Americans in the Beirut Marine Barracks bombing in 1983, that slaughtered 3,000 Americans on 9/11, and that's responsible now for the deaths of more than 3,200 Americans in Iraq. The same totalitarian ideology motivates Hamas and Hezbollah and Fatah. Yasser Arafat was the mold from which Osama bin Laden was cast. His followers are a division of an army bent on world conquest. 5.5 years ago, when America was in mourning for the victims of the World Trade Center, Palestinians were celebrating in the streets of Gaza City and Ramallah. Later, they named a square in Ramallah for the first suicide bomber to kill American servicemen in Iraq. Hamas and Hezbollah both contribute fighters to the Iraqi offensive. Should Israel fall, God forbid, the enemy would have another bastion to rival Taliban Afghanistan and Iran under the mullahs. Resources could be shifted to other fronts in what's become a world war. Iraq, Afghanistan, the Balkans, Chechnya, the Kashmir, and on and on. If we do nothing when the jihad comes for Israel, comes for India, comes for Serbia, comes for the Christians of a third world, who will be there when it comes for us? In his farewell address, George Washington admonished, quote, "Of all the dispositions and habits which lead to political prosperity, religion and morality are indispensable supports. In vain would that man claim the tribute of patriotism who should labor to subvert these great pillars of human happiness, these firmest props of the duties of men and citizens." Close quote. Deep words of wisdom from the founding father of our country. But ladies and gentlemen, where did our religion and morality come from? In a similar fashion, we might say that no man can call himself a patriot who would seek to sever America's ties to the source of our religion and the source of our morality. Our history, our heritage, our faith, and our national interest all mandate America's support for Israel, the land where, in a very real sense, America began. A patriot who doesn't understand this is no patriot at all. Thank you.